thank you for joining us today on the podcast. I'm super excited because we've got a very special guest who is joining us today. And this very special guest is going to be sharing with us her wellness and weight loss journey. Now, my guest is always full of inspiration and insight. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation, and I'm pretty sure you are going to have lots of takeaways too. So let's welcome Sherrie. Welcome, Sherrie. How are you?
Hi, Angela. I'm well, thank you. I'm really pleased to be a
Oh,
part of this.
well, it is great to have you on the podcast. So thank you so much for agreeing to be here with us today. So, Sherrie, tell us a little bit about yourself. Anything you want to share with us about who you are, your background. We know your name's Sherrie. Anything else you want to tell us about yourself to get us started?
I would say my background is, in terms of work, is healthcare. And I've been working there about 12 years. But in terms of anything creative, I love to journal and I enjoy singing. And I also like to bake as well.
Oh, yeah. And I know you are an outstanding singer. I've heard those YouTube clips, and my word, you absolutely blew me away. So yeah, very, very creative. I love that. So Sherrie, tell us, where does your wellness and weight loss journey begin?
For me, it started when I was around about 16. In terms of like my weight loss journey, my wellness journey didn't begin until I started to have a diagnosis of bipolar. But to start off with my weight loss journey at 16, I think because I was going through puberty, I was putting on quite a lot of weight. And if I could look back now, I'd think, well, you know what? Allow puberty to kind of take its course, sort of thing. You'll be fine. Because when I look back on photos of me after puberty and then entering into like my 20s and 30s, I can definitely see that I wasn't as overweight as I thought. It was definitely down to my mindset, thinking that I was really quite bigger than I actually was. But I was on WW because I was experiencing high blood pressure at 16, and I lost a little bit of weight, but I would just kind of yo-yo. And it wasn't until I got a diagnosis of bipolar at 30 that that's when the weight really became quite an issue. I would go in and out of like relapse and recovery with a lot of weight gain and then really large amounts of weight loss, but it just wasn't sustainable. And I found because I was on medication, that was having an impact. And so,
Okay.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so you started your weight loss journey with Weight Watchers at the age of
Yeah.
16, yeah, and that was because you were living with high blood pressure. How did that manifest itself? What were your symptoms?
So I was quite out of breath. I couldn't really walk very far when it came to like going to school and so on. I think by the time I got about to at 15, 16, I just wasn't taking part in any kind of sports or activity anymore. The focus was more on your studies. So, and even walking to school or to college, I just wasn't doing enough. So the weight was just creeping
Okay.
on, really. Yeah.
So I'm hearing you that you were active, but it wasn't
No.
enough, and then the you had some weight gain, and that ultimately led to a diagnosis of high blood pressure. Did high blood pressure run in your family at all? Is it hereditary?
No, it wasn't hereditary.
No.
And I think for my father, who's since passed, he had a heart attack, but it was more smoking that's been like a bit of a determinant for like poor health within my family. But in terms of me with like the high blood pressure, just kind of came out of nowhere, really.
Okay, okay. And how are you with your blood pressure these days? Have you got that under control?
Yes, I'm not on any medication for high blood pressure. I think by the time I got about 21, they just said you've lost all the you're no longer showing any signs and symptoms for it. So
Oh, that's good. That's really good. That's really good. So well done on that. So what I'm hearing is that you were yo-yoing, yeah, with your weight around the high blood
yeah.
pressure. Yeah. And then when you got to around 30, you had a diagnosis of bipolar. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that come about and how did that impact you?
Well, the diagnosis of bipolar, that is kind of like runs in my family actually. But
Okay.
I was adamant that I didn't have it. It wasn't until I had quite a bad psychotic break at age 29, where I'd stopped eating, stopped sleeping, and subsequently became quite delirious, hearing voices, and went missing like for a few days, and then I ended up in a hospital where I was sectioned. But my mom and my father both had mental health concerns, and that was as a result of what I would say is pressures in their own lives growing up. But for me, I was kind of happy-go-lucky kind of thing. I didn't really think I had that kind of. I just probably saw it as a negative sort of thing. And it
Okay.
wasn't until maybe about 6 months in I realized, okay, I have this condition and I don't really know how to sort of handle it, sort of thing. Because they said to me, you'll never be the same again. You'll never be the same person. And
Mm.
they just topped me up on medication. I stopped working out because I was working out like 5 times a week. Plus I would cycle to work. So I was round about 12 stone. And then within about 6 months, I put on about 4 or 5 stone. Because of the
Okay.
medication.
And that was due to the
Yeah,
medication.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And how are you now in terms of your bipolar diagnosis?
So at the moment, I would say that I'm in remission with my condition. And I'm
Mhm.
being stabilized with like medication. I see a psychiatrist, and I have my relapse prevention plan as well. So yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's really good. Good to hear, Sherrie. So, what I'm hearing then is so when you were 16, high blood pressure, you were then yo-yoing, but when you got to 30, um, you were diagnosed with bipolar, and then the medication caused you to gain a significant amount of
Yeah.
weight. Yeah. So, how have you been able to balance your um, your health, your mental health condition with your weight loss journey. Tell us a little bit about that.
I think I really needed to stop trying to change the past because I gained so much weight and I'd lost so much socially. I really need to be able to draw a line in the sand and say, what's happened in the past has happened. You need to find a new way of moving forward that says that you're still the person that you are. It's just that now you have to make some adjustments. And those
I love
adjustments are
that.
going to help you to see that what you went through was part of your shaping process.
Oh, I love that, Sherry. I absolutely love that because isn't it true that we're often trying to get back to a place or moment in time where we felt the
Yeah,
happiest?
yeah,
But as you say, that time is gone
mm,
and you're trying to shape a new path for
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
I think
So how it
I was gonna say,
sorry, carry on.
I think that's part of the struggle that most people face is that they can't forgive themselves of allowing them
Mm,
allow what's happened in terms of the past, of how they've come to the present, of how they may look or how they may feel. But it's coming to a realization that you know what, you need to have that separation. You need to forgive yourself of maybe the wrong choices that you may have made, or maybe allowing others to project certain kind of ways of thinking onto you, and that has subsequently led to you making certain decisions. So it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And it's that forgiveness, isn't
Yeah.
it? Forgiving ourselves, as you say, for the decisions that we've made. But in your case, the your health in terms of the high blood pressure and the bipolar wasn't a decision that you
No.
made.
No.
It happened to
Yeah.
you. So how do you use that same, that same concept of forgiveness, forgiving yourself and moving forward to continue on your journey? How do you manage that?
So I think it was through like self-reflection, which was
Mm,
something that the health professionals couldn't really guide me through. It was more like spending too much time in the past to like ruminate and have a look at different things in terms of like what pieces within your past that could suggest how you could then end up with a relapse in the future. And I found that whole approach to be unhelpful for me, because I
mhm,
needed to see myself as like I need to stop thinking that way. I need to stop
mm,
rummaging around in the past for nothing, because
yeah,
it wasn't having the effect that maybe the professionals were looking for. Like, is she going to be happy as a result of looking in her past and feeling a lot more better? But it wasn't making me feel that way.
right. So that's when you had to be in the moment and be forward
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
Love that, love that. So tell us a bit more about your weight loss journey, because you told us that you were doing the Weight Watchers
Hmm.
program, and at the same time you were managing the high blood pressure, which is now under control, but also bipolar and seeing significant weight gain. Tell us a bit about how you managed your weight loss journey at this point in your life.
So at this point, my weight loss journey is really impacted by my relapse prevention plan. So I
Mm,
look at the triggers of my condition to help me manage my goals on the Weight Watchers plan, because
yeah.
it's great to be on Weight Watchers, but then if you don't put your personal touch on that plan, it's not going to work.
Yeah. So tell us, what is your personal touch on that plan? Because I'm just thinking about anybody else living with, say, mental health conditions, and they're doing, whether it be Weight Watchers or Slimming World or keto. How have you put your personal touch to the Weight Watchers program to make it work for
As I
you?
said, it's my relapse prevention plan. So that will look at
Yeah.
the way that I sleep, the way that I eat, activity,
Interesting.
my thought patterns. It will look at the sleep hygiene as well. So that involves like really good comfy pajamas, whether it's having a milky drink before bed, whether it's having a luxurious bath or aromatherapy candles, that kind of stuff. And
I
also,
love
I
that.
think more importantly, being honest with myself. If I'm having a bad day and my medication might not be working as well as it could be, then it's about me taking a step back, having that pause to say, what's
Mm,
most important? What can I achieve for today? What can I say can leave till tomorrow? What can I do right now, here in the moment? How am I feeling? And I think I had to stop wearing my condition on my sleeve, in a sense. Like
mm,
trying to like say, oh, I don't feel like that anymore, or I'm not sure about that, making me feel, in a sense, making me feel weak. And
right.
I didn't want to feel, I realized I didn't want to feel that way. I am empowered by what I've learned as someone who's a survivor of bipolar, because bipolar does have a high rate of suicide. And
Okay.
it's important that it's not it's not a designer kind of sickness. It's not a label I would want anyone to have. It's not something I would want to wish on anybody, because it takes you to very,
Mm,
very dark places, and you wonder whether you're or not you're going to come out of that. But I can honestly
mm.
say now that I'm on the other side of what was once a major storm in my life for about 10 years, I can now see that me having that relapse prevention plan allows me to have the freedom that I so denied myself of because I kept rummaging in the past too much.
Right. That is just, and you talk about this relating to your bipolar condition, but as you're talking, I'm thinking that just applies to everybody, because as we said, it's so easy to keep looking back to the
Yeah,
past. We wanted to be, the size and the weight that we were when we were like 18, 19, when we got married, or, when we had our first child. We want to get back into that outfit or the old wedding dress, etc. But as you say, that's gone
yeah.
now. That's gone. And it's about the here and
Yeah.
now. I love that. And I love that whole prevention plan, what you said about creating that sleep routine, because we know that sleep is so
Yeah.
important to our
Yeah.
health, let alone our weight loss journey, but just to our health. It balances out our hormones. It has an impact on our mood and what we do, what we eat, our energy levels. It has such a massive impact. So I love that. But the other thing that I love that you said, Sherrie, was you take that pause. You take a pause and it allows you to reflect. So I know that on your weight loss journey, you've had ups and downs. You've seen some massive successes, and congratulations on that. But I know you've also had some sticky points. In those successes and those sticky points, what things have you reflected on to help you to move forward?
Um, I would say that one of my biggest challenges was learning to be my own best friend consistently.
Love that.
That there were times when I've been my own worst enemy. I've been my own worst,
Tell us a bit
been
more.
my own worst enemy, as I said before, ruminating on the past, but also like in the here and now. If I make a mistake, it's not about me getting out of the car and I've got a flat tire and letting down all the other three tires and saying, "Well, forget it. I'm not going to bother." I had to stop derailing my own success by taking that
Mm,
pause and saying, "You know what? One tire's down. Let's just take a pit stop and let's rethink about what we're going to do to move forward." I think
love that.
that's so important, because otherwise if you don't get into a habit of reflecting on where you're supposed to be going, you're going to constantly always keep coming up against a brick wall.
Mm,
And that's what I
yeah.
was finding. I kept on coming up against that brick wall all the time. But a lot.
And then within that, forgiving yourself
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, when you hit that brick wall, because in some situations, especially when you're not in control and your health just takes you
Yeah.
out, and you hit that brick wall, it's then learning to forgive yourself
Hmm.
and move forward. Love that. And I know you said at the top that you journal. Does that make a big difference to you?
It does, because it means I have to ask myself those questions that I can't hide from.
Mm, mm,
So before, when I was quite unwell, I had a journal that I would only use as part of, or you could almost call it like a gratitude journal. So I'd think of one thing that I was happy about and one thing that didn't go so well. So by
mm,
looking at what didn't go so well, I managed to find a way to actually make a goal out of that negativity. So if, say, for instance, I ate too many ice creams one of the days, it's more like, okay, so maybe you could buy the mini ones instead and finish the whole box. That's you. That's you. You've made that
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear
That's
you. I love that.
But in terms of the journaling, I think it's a work in progress, really. I've just recently
Mm.
bought another one called a Wreck-It journal. So you can like stick
Oh,
things together, or you can like make shadings and all sorts of things. You can post some of the pages off to other people if you want to, write letters. It's very, very interactive. So I really do like to journal quite a lot. Yeah. And a good pen,
I
good
love that.
pencil. Yeah. I'm there.
Yeah, indeed. Good pens and
Yeah.
pencils, and even colour
Yeah.
pencils. You do the colouring, the adult
The
colouring?
adult colouring, I've tried to do it digitally, and I've also tried to do it with a regular colouring book paper base. But to be honest,
Mm,
I think I'm more of a jigsaw person. I like a good
okay.
jigsaw. I like to be able to problem solve. And even though I do problem solving in my job, I still love to do it even when I'm like
Yeah,
at leisure. I still like to do that.
I love that. And do you know what? And I, because hearing you saying about problem solving, you do it in your job, you love it when you know, at leisure as well. It sounds to me that you're using those problem solving skills in your weight loss and wellness journey as well.
You
Yeah.
could say that.
When you,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's quite insightful. I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
yeah, because you know, when you, as you said, when you've hit that wall,
Yes.
yeah, and when it's something you're not in control of, yeah, it's then how do you get through the next day? How do you make sure that you get your sleep, the good quality sleep that you
Yeah.
need?
Yeah.
Yeah. How, when you pause, what is it that you're going to pause and reflect on?
Hmm.
Yeah, rather than everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's still problem solving skills to help you
Yeah.
through. Tell us a little bit about your food as well, because I know you love your food. And what was your favourite type of dish?
Oh, favorite type. It's got to be Thai food. I
Oh,
absolutely love
nice.
Thai tapas. Really love it. Yeah,
Mm.
and there's a particular restaurant that I love to call. I'm not gonna name drop it, but I just love it so much, and it's reasonably priced. But the way that it's presented, I'm all about textures, flavors, colors, and the crispiness. Whether it's steamed, whether it's fried, I just love it. It's just like a symphony on the
Oh,
tongue. Love it.
you're a woman after my own heart, Sherrie. I'm very much the same. Yeah, it's got to have that variety, as you say. I love that. So, Thai is your favorite dish. So, how have you built in your favorite foods on your wellness and weight loss journey? Tell us a bit about that.
I would say in the current climate that we're living in, since COVID, folks have really embraced the takeaway industry. And I
Mm.
found that instead of like shunning it to one side, I've incorporated it into wellness journey. So instead of having a takeaway every single night, I might order a takeaway and maybe elements of it I can use in a dish that I've already prepared at home. So it's just to supplement the meal and just to make me feel, okay, I'm making an effort, but I'm still having a bit of a splurge. That's fine. That's okay. If I'm
Yeah.
having a blowout, as I would call it, with the friends and family, it'll be more because I'm with others, I'm less likely to overeat, because not because I'm thinking, oh, are they watching what's on my plate? It's more that because you're in conversation, you might talk more, and so you end up eating less. So the focus is not necessarily on the food, it's more just the conversation, the environment, the merriment sort of thing. So yeah.
Mm. Oh, I love that. I love that. And I know you said that you love to bake. Are you a cook as well? Do you cook?
I would say I'm more of a recipe type person. I will follow a recipe and see how well I get on. I think I'm the most adventurous when it comes to food in my family. But with in terms of the baking side, I I think I'm a little bit like Willy Wonka. I love to try different
Oh,
types of chocolates, and I've actually bought like a special mold, and it's actually like
yeah.
a cami no, it's not a cami badge, like what you would put
Mm.
on, like a cami pin that you'd put on your blouse at the collar,
Okay.
and it's you can make like chocolates out of it. So I was thinking, oh, I think I might decorate a cake with a load of chocolates on them, something to push the bulk
Oh,
out.
nice.
So yeah, I like to experiment. I do like millionaire shortbread. I do red velvet cake. I like to make cookies, biscuits. Yeah, and
Nice.
then
I
I love the
love that.
Caribbean side as well, because I'm actually just
Oh,
doing my fruits as well. I've soaked my fruits for my Christmas cake, and I'm looking forward to
oh, I
starting
love
at the end of
that.
September.
Oh, I love that. Oh, and again, after my own heart, I love my Caribbean foods and the black cake that you're going to be
Yeah.
making. Yeah, the rum cake. Oh, I love that. I love that. So, Sherry, you mentioned that you do follow the Weight Watchers
Hmm.
plan. I know that you follow the Weight Watchers program,
Hmm.
and I know that the Weight Watchers program has some really great tools and support around sleep, around activity, around mindset, and about food. And you've just shared with us all of those delicious foods and cakes and all those treats that you love. How do you balance those on your weight loss journey?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, the
Or let me rephrase that, Sherry.
Okay.
Is is weight loss the focus for you now, or is it more about your wellness? Because there is a difference, isn't
Yeah.
there? And I know that some people are very focused on just losing weight and getting the weight off,
Hmm.
but other people are like, do you know what? No, everything in balance, and I need to maybe to sort out my physical health or my mental health or improve my sleep, and then the weight loss will come. So, where are you in terms of your wellness and your weight loss?
I would say it's more geared to my wellness journey rather than
Yeah.
actually focusing on weight loss. I think I focused on weight loss for a number of years, and even with, it's more than just jogging it out on the treadmill or doing a load of weight YouTube videos. I think it's about being more mindful and
Mm.
being accountable as to what you want to actually do. Because
Yeah.
if I'm going to go to the gym now, I would only go to the gym maybe twice a week just to do strength activities. So then
Hmm.
my responsibility then for the rest of the week is to make sure that I go for walks. And I have to admit, my walks have gone to literally nothing because I've been focused more on the routine of work. But then
Yeah.
in terms of like my wellness now, it's it's the self-care of making sure that my mental health is intact, because if I don't
Love
have
that.
the ability to make good decisions, then my weight loss journey is affected. My me trying to do my strength activities, my mind is not in it. I can't focus, I can't function, and that will spill into work, and then eventually it will get into my sleep because I'll be worried, I'm stressed out. So it's kind of like a domino effect. So if I can stop that domino
Mm.
effect from happening from in the first place, just taking one domino out and having that pause just to reflect, what am I doing? How can I move forward? How can I stop this from happening? Or is it one of those things where it's just got to play itself out? And because
Mm.
even when I'm having a relapse, because it happens so quickly, it's very difficult to dial it back. It's just got to happen.
Mm.
It's just got to happen. But
Yeah.
thankfully, I've got like mechanisms like the home treatment team. They're really helpful with my community mental health team, and they'll come out to me and they'll just give me advice if I'm needing of it, if they might look at my medication. So it seems to be like a number of factors that kind of work out to like help me to stay well. and help me to achieve what I need to do with my weight loss. But also, it's mostly about my wellness.
Do you know what, Sherrie? I absolutely love that. And I think everything that you've said today is going to hit a wide range of people in different ways. And the reason I say that is, and having been and still been on my weight loss journey as well, and having been with slimming clubs, sometimes there is a pressure from the community to always be focusing on weight
Yeah.
loss, on getting those numbers being reduced, sometimes at whatever cost it takes, restricting, burning ourselves
Yeah.
out, at whatever cost to see that number on the scale go
Mm-hmm.
down. And I've seen that, I've witnessed that, I've been, part of that community to see that. So I think it's really refreshing to hear that, yes, weight loss is important for you, but wellness and being well
Yeah.
is your
Yeah.
priority. And then doing all the things that you've talked about, the sleep, taking the pause, still enjoying the foods that you love, managing those portions, and keeping well emotionally and
Yeah.
mentally, working with your team is paramount. It has to be number
Mm-hmm.
one. Yeah, because if not, then there is no weight loss journey to pick up.
No,
Yeah.
no. And
So I love
I
that.
think from the beginning, when you're starting your journey, it's okay for you to have a look and ask those questions of what you want to happen as a result of you starting this journey. It's all right to do a little bit of research. It's all right to ask for help, because you're not going to know
Mm,
it all. You're not going to know it all, but you need to be open for that, because sometimes I didn't like to hear the truth that I was, overweight, and I really need to look at my habits, because I was thinking, well, the intention is there and somehow I'll follow through. But it's like, no, you're gonna keep going on this road where you're not making any changes, you're not addressing anything, because you're too afraid to ask yourself those questions. You're afraid of the
mm,
answer.
yeah, yeah. So it's asking those questions and being open to the responses that you
Yeah,
find.
yeah.
Yeah. And you also mentioned self-care, and all of this, I take it, is part of your self-care program, because we often, when we think about self-care, I know a lot of people think about all the pink and fluffy things, having the manicure, the pedicure, having the bath and the spa, and that is fine. All of that is great, but it goes deeper on another level.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking after ourselves emotionally as well, physically, mentally, spiritually, all of those things. Yeah, that is, yeah. So, such good words of wisdom. So, Sherrie, what would you say? What advice would you give to someone who is living with mental health illnesses and mental health challenges, but who want to move forward and live a healthy life with the view of losing weight? What advice would you give to someone?
I think I'm going to come from the perspective that you need to love yourself. And I know that's hard. I know it sounds cliche, but you need to love yourself and say to yourself, maybe you need to look in the mirror and say to yourself, I am enough.
Oh, I love
I
that.
am enough. And what I'm about to embark on in terms of my journey is going to be something that's going to help me. It's going to something that's going to anchor me when things get tough, because I know there's
Mm,
many folks out there who don't have the support system that they're looking for. And
mm,
Weight Watchers is great that there's a community, but sometimes you can feel that you need to find your people who get you, and that
mm,
can take some time. But while you're waiting to find your tribe, in the meantime, love yourself and say that you are enough. say that this is my journey, this is my time, and I'm going to reclaim my life. All the things that I've lost, forget it. I'm here right now. I can make a decision to say that, you know what? I'm moving forward. I'm going to take it step by step, day by day, but I'm going to be better than I was yesterday.
Wow. Wow, 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 Sherrie. Wow. That is just fantastic. Thank you so much for being here today on the podcast. I really, really appreciate you taking the time out to come to us with those words of wisdom. And I know that it's going to impact so many people from so many different angles. In summary, Sherrie, is there anything else you want to add about your journey, about mental health, about you? Anything else you want to add?
One thing I want to add is no longer shall I live in the void of my past, but I will live in the solution of my future. I am indeed present and ready for all that comes my way.
Wow. Wow. I love that, Sherrie. I love that. Sherrie, thank you so much for being with us today. Wick, if people want to follow you, are you on social media?
I am actually on Instagram. My handle is oh my Sherrie pie.
So, oh my Sherrie pie on Instagram, guys. Jump over there, give Sherrie a follow, support her on her journey, and you will be inspired by her post. I know I am. So, thank you so much, Sherrie.
Thank you, Angela.
Guys, thank you so much for being with us on this podcast today. We would really appreciate it if you could give us a like, if you could follow us. We've got lots more guest speakers coming your way. If there is a guest that you would like to hear from, do send me a message. Uh, if feel free to email me, my email address will be in the show notes below. So we've got more guests to come, and if you would like to be a guest on this podcast, also please do contact us. Guys, on that note, I'm going to leave you with a thought. And my thought for you is this: if you want the rainbow, we've got to put up with the rain. We've got to be the change that we want to see in the world. So guys, on that note, we look forward to seeing you on another podcast. Take care now. Bye bye.